Welcome back to another episode of All or Nothing in Real Estate. I'm your host, Matt Smith, the founder of All or Nothing in Real Estate. As a reminder, this podcast is a movement to give back to this amazing industry that's given so much to me and my family. Guys, today I've got a very special episode. I think I say that every week, but I feel like this podcast is special to me, so I hope you guys find these episodes special also. Coming to you from my lake house, taking a few days off in the Snowmageddon, we're calling it, here in Missouri with my family. Enjoying the amazing Missouri weather with all the snow that God blessed us with. But wanted to give you guys a podcast also filled with value. And so I was thinking, what could be something that would be really, really valuable? And I remember recently at our State of the Company for our organization, I gave a speech to our team about the power of execution, the power behind just simply executing day in and day out. And I went super in depth on what execution is, how it can impact your life. And so in the spirit of execution, we're going to give you a short, down and dirty, straight to the point podcast today on my speech about execution. Hope you enjoy it.
Here's where I started. Execution is everything. It's my first sentence. It's everything. If you don't execute, nothing else matters. Get more of that feeling by executing, right? So execution is not about having the perfect plan. It's not about the perfect timing, or it's not waiting until I feel quote unquote ready. So if I were to ask you to define execution, how would you define it? Follow through? Discipline and action. Oh, I like that. Stick to your word. So in a way, is execution in alignment with some of our core values? Which ones? Maybe. Which ones specifically? Discipline. It takes discipline to execute, right? Cool. I'm going to read a couple things that I kind of thought out and wrote around execution. Because I think it's really important that we have depth of understanding around execution. And I think too many times I say things like execution and I assume you guys know at my core what I mean by it, and I want to do better at explaining these things. And so I want to just kind of break down where my head went. Here's where I started. Execution is everything. It's my first sentence. It's everything. If you don't execute, nothing else matters. I don't care what the interest rates are. I don't care what the housing market is. I don't care. If you don't execute, everything out external is absolutely irrelevant. Do you guys believe that? If you believe that, are we actually acting that way? Are we doing the actions behind that to actually execute? Do you think I woke up and wanted to cold plunge and work out? Not today. I did it anyway. Right? You guys ever had that one thing you didn't want to do? You said you were going to do, but you didn't want to do it. You did it. You did it anyway. By show of hands. How'd you feel after you did it? On top of the world. Get more of that feeling by executing, right? So execution is not about having the perfect plan. It's not about the perfect timing, or it's not waiting until I feel quote unquote ready. Anybody know anybody that's getting ready to get ready, and they have been every year? 2020 was going to be their year. They're planning. And 2021 is going to be their year. Now, in 2025, it's time I'm actually going to do it. That's what you said 3 years ago. That's on you. I want to encourage you today to do the thing. Don't talk about it. Talk's cheap. It's about action. Execution. It's about getting off your ass and actually doing the fucking work that is required. Work works. Period. Execution is the separator, is what separates the winners from everyone else. So many people talk about their goals, they talk about their dreams, they have these big ideas and aspirations, and one day I'm going to. And I encourage you to be a dreamer. Please. And I want to help you be a big dreamer. But I also want you to actually fulfill those dreams. And so what I know is required is once you have that dream, have you built it down to the execution that's required to accomplish it? The difference between winners and everybody else, it's very simple. Winners execute. Here's the funny thing about execution. It isn't sexy. It doesn't look cool. You can't make videos about it on Instagram. But it's not about being glamorous. It's not about looking cool. It's not about, it's like I wrote this. It's not about the highlight reel you post on Instagram. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the reps, and actually leaning in and trying to find hard shit to do today that nobody else wants to do. It's about waking up when you don't feel like it. It's about making the calls when you're tired. It's sticking to the plan when the results haven't shown up yet. Anyone felt that? Stick to the plan. If you stick to the plan, the results will come. Execution is what builds greatness. Guess what? That dream life that you want, that success that you're after, it requires a little bit of work. It requires a little bit of grit, a little bit of grind. If I were to break down what does execution look like, has anyone ever seen a brick building being constructed? You guys ever seen a mason build a building? How do they build it? One fucking brick at a time. Go look at our Rolla office. 3 stories of brick building. Guess how they built it? They executed one brick at a time. Back in 1873.
Some were better than others, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Some of those bricklayers suck.
But how many of you want the end result, but we forget, I just got to plant my brick today. I just got to lay it and let me lay it right. It's about laying one brick perfectly today, then another one tomorrow, and then another, and then another, and then another. Before you know it, you've built a brick wall that nobody can tear down. That's the beautiful thing about execution. It compounds. Every small action, every small step, every disciplined decision adds up. But it requires grit. It requires you to push through the moments when you want to quit. Anyone ever felt like quitting? All the fucking time. My life would be so much easier if I just worked at McDonald's, right? Hell yeah. You want fries with that? That's really easy. I can nail that. That's a script I can nail. But it's not about going after the easy things in life, right? Like, we all have dreams. We all have visions for our lives. We'll talk about vision towards the end. That's a speech that I'm going to give later. I'm really excited to share with you guys. I worked really hard on it. But if you want success, it requires you to push through the moments when you want to quit. It's about doing what you said you would do long after the mood you set it in has left you. What core values does that remind you of? It's about doing what you said you would do long after the mood that you set it in has left you. It's integrity. How many of you say integrity is important to you in your life? Show of hands. Do you have integrity with yourself? That thing that you said you wanted to do. But I said that yesterday. I said I would work out tomorrow. Now it's cold and the bed's nice and warm, and whatever excuses we make to ourselves. Just because the mood is gone, are we going to have integrity with ourselves? Especially in today's instant gratification society, the Instagram superstars, TikTok's back now, so the TikTok superstars. A lot of people make success look sexy and look glamorous, and they can talk a big ass game. They really can. And everyone can get that new feeling and get hyped for like a day. Today's the day, and you have the best workout ever. What about tomorrow? What about the next day? What about the next day? It's about the consistency that you show up and execute. Execution is about who can stay consistent for a month, for a year, for a decade. This reminds me of something that I've learned a lot from Andy Frisella, but one of the things I learned from him was 1,000 days. You guys hear me talk about 90 days? Let's go deeper than 90 days. Every single one of us are exactly where we are in our lives, in our fitness, in our health, in our relationship, in our business, in our finance, everything in life. You are exactly where you are today as a result of the decisions you have made over the last 1,000 days of your life. How long is 1,000 days? About 3 years. Where were you 3 years ago? What was your mindset? What were you doing? What were your habits? What were your routines? 3 years doesn't seem that long ago, does it? You can probably remember where you were, where you worked, what your finances looked like, what house you lived in, what car you drove. But what are you going to do for the next 1,000 days? Are you going to execute? I saw Natalie's face. I didn't know what was happening behind me. Are you going to execute for the next 1,000 days? Because where do you want to be 3 years from now? It's about execution. guys, you've heard my story, and I'm not trying to like brag. I'm trying to show you this so you can I can show you what's possible. I am nothing special. I have a lot of coaches and mentors in my life, and I've asked them, like, from your observation, like, what makes me me? What makes me different? What makes you stand out? You know what they all say? Anyone want to guess?
Execute quickly.
You execute quickly, you don't think about it, you just do it. A stupid guy from Newburgh High School just executing can build a life that I've been just blessed to build. So can you. Got to stop overthinking, stop doubting yourself, stop waiting for fucking permission. Nobody's going to give it to you. We're all waiting for permission from the permission fairy who does not fucking exist. There is nobody that says, oh, Ryan, now you can be successful. Here you go. No one's going to give you permission. You got to go out and get it. Stop waiting for permission. You guys can't tell, that pisses me off when people wait for that. You're holding yourselves back. You're holding yourselves back from so much because you're waiting for someone to say, oh, it's okay if you go be a real estate agent. It's okay if you make this money. It's okay if you do this thing. It's not coming. The people who win aren't the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're simply the ones who execute faster, better, and more consistently than anyone else. That's my last 1,000 days. And the 1,000 days before that, and 1,000 days before that. Every day? Nope. Most days? Absolutely. So here's the bottom line. If you want to win, you have to execute. You have to show up. You have to do the work. You have to refuse to quit. It does not matter if you feel like it. When it comes to execution, fuck your feelings. They will do nothing but prevent you from getting to your goals. Doesn't matter if it's hard. As a matter of fact, if it is hard, you know you're exactly where you should be. All that matters is, did you do it or did you not? Here's how I define execution. Done or not done. Pretty simple. At the end of the day, the only thing that separates the winners from the losers is, did you execute or did you just talk about executing? And the next thing we'll talk about after we do a role play battle is when you show up and you execute every single day, you know you should do. Raise your hand if you know what you should do every day. Right? If you don't, come see me. I'll help you. But it's up to you to execute. And when you execute every single day consistently and you show up as a better version of yourself, guess what it creates? It creates a habit. What do great habits create? Success, results, a lot of great things. What is the theme that I mentioned that we are in right now at our award ceremony? We're in momentum. We create a little winning streak for ourselves. Where does that come from? It comes from fucking execution. So don't forget what got you here. Keep it going. So many people believe this lie of what got you here won't get you there. That is the biggest bullshit on the planet. That is the big... I did it. Whenever the market was good, we were just selling houses left and right. I stopped being the leader that I should have been. I stopped working on myself how I should have been. I sat in my ivory tower and said, wow, look at this. We're pretty fucking cool. Guess what happened? We stopped growing because of me. Don't make the same mistake that I made. Just because you have 5 pennies right now, or you have 10 pennies, or you had a great year last year, how are you showing up today? The exact things that got you to where you have this little bit of momentum or this little bit of winning streak are the exact things that will get you to the next step. It's those same core fundamental things done just at a higher level, consistently compounded over time. And maybe this little 1% of this thing and this 1% of this thing. But 98% of it stays the exact fucking same. You just got to do it over and over and over.